I knew within the first 30 seconds if I was closing this person based on this I'm about to tell you. The first thing I would do is I would go ahead and I would verify or ask for their zip code or where they lived. Because I want to connect with that person based on where they lived. I live in Tampa Bay, Florida. So if somebody were to call Greg Gurbikian and they found out that I lived in Tampa Bay, Florida, is there anything that's happened in Tampa the last couple of years that might be kind of something good to bring up to Greg Gurbikian? Okay? Like, man, you guys are winners there, man. Greg, man, I wish I lived in Tampa, Florida. Man, what's that like, man? Just winning and winning and winning. Huh? Yeah. Well, I'm not a Rays fan, so I'm a Yankees fan. So that's a whole different story. But I would connect on where they live. You know, if you don't get to know where they live, you don't have the right to sell them. I can't tell you how many phone calls I've listened to. They're 20 minutes on the phone call, and they still don't know the person's zip code or their address. They don't know anything about where they live. Do they live in Idaho? Do they live in Texas? Where do they live? That's being a transactional salesperson if you don't take the time to know where they live. That's the very first thing you need to find out. I listened to a phone call from a sales agent many, many years ago that was struggling, and in the phone call, he asked the person the zip code. He did the right thing, and the guy tells him, I live in Akron, Ohio. Does anybody know anything big that's happened in Akron, Ohio? Is there anything that comes out of Akron, Ohio? LeBron James. Called himself the boy from Akron. Now, if you didn't know that, that's okay. Okay? That's okay. But he had no excuse. He was a very big sports fan. So I pulled him in. I said, hey, where did this guy live? He goes, he lived in Akron, Ohio. I said, is there anything big that's come out of Akron, Ohio? What do you mean, Greg? Is there anything big that's come out of Akron, Ohio? You're talking about LeBron James? Of course I'm talking about LeBron James. Okay. A lot of people don't know, if I'm talking to somebody in Akron, Ohio, there's actually an Akron, New York. Okay? And there's also something big that's out of Akron, New York. Big League Chewing Gum is actually made in Akron, New York. Okay? So that might be something that I could bring up and strike as a little conversation with this guy from Akron. So he asked me, he goes, Greg, what would you have done? What would you have done once you found out that this guy lived in Akron, Ohio? So I'm going to use you, George. Okay? George, let me ask you a question. Have you ever run into LeBron James, ever?
Not really, but great sports guy.
Yeah, boom. Guess what? Your conversations can be no longer than 15 seconds. Because then you are now moving away from the direction. So these are just to get that connection, you know? So that's awesome, man. I hope that someday he runs into you. That'd be such a cool experience. Let me ask you a question. Now I go into the second thing. So finding out where they live is very, very crucial. The very first thing that you need to do on a phone call. First name, immediately. How have you been? And then right into where they live. The second thing is this, their date of birth. I have had more sales that I've closed because of the date of birth than anything else. And I'll tell you what I did. It's all about connecting with that other person, finding a commonality. Okay? So if you're born in the month of December or the month of March, it's over. It's over. You're done. I'm closing you. Why? So in December, my birthday is December 22nd. Okay, so I'm actually going to give you something you can use even if your birthday is not in December. Okay? Everybody's born in December has been gypped on Christmas and birthday gifts. Okay? So I'd always have a very, very cool little story. So I find out that George is born December 10th. George, man, you and I are in the same community. We're in the same fraternity right now. I said, my birthday is December 22nd, so we both have been gypped on our Christmas and birthday gifts. And George is going to do what? No, I just got a lot of Christmas and birthday gifts all of a sudden. No, we're all the same. Ask anybody that's born in December, they'll tell you that. Okay? So then I would continue the conversation with George. So George, it actually got worse for me. Let me tell you why. At 9 years old, my parents were old. My dad was 55. They were done having kids. And guess what? My mom got pregnant. At 9 years old, I had my sister who was born on December 20th. So I thought it was bad already. I was done. I was done. Okay? So I say my wife makes it a point to make a special day on my 22nd birthday because she knows the story. Okay? Guess what George is starting to do? He's actually really kind of starting to like me. He doesn't know why. So here's something I want to say right now. If they don't like you, they will not do business with you. If they like you, they might do business with you. If they love you, they're definitely going to do business with you. So hopefully by now George is starting to like, and it's kind of moving to love, and he doesn't know why. But subconsciously it's happening. Okay? March. This is my favorite one. So in March, my wife's birthday is March 5th. My son's birthday is March 19th. And my wedding anniversary is March 21st. Okay? So I tell the person, I go, so let me tell you the story, George. So I'm sitting down with the wedding planner, and we're looking at the dates to get married. And I literally point to March 21st, and I go, honey, that's when we're getting married. She looks at me a little puzzled. Wedding planner kind of looks at me a little puzzled, like, why that, Greg? I said, honey, if there's ever a time in my life where I can't remember that my wedding anniversary is 3-2-1, it's time to put me in the old folks' home. And I get that laugh. Guess what? You guys are all laughing right now. It's over. They're going to buy anything from me right now because we've connected. I had a really funny story. I was talking to this guy. I told him that whole story. He's laughing. He goes, Greg, I got to tell you my story. He goes, me and my wife have been married for 40 years, and we're driving down the road. Cell phone rings. We answer it, and it's our son. And he goes, hey, Mom and Dad, happy anniversary. We both look at each other and go, it's our anniversary. We both forgot our anniversary. I go, George, you know why you forgot your anniversary? He goes, why? Because it wasn't 3-2-1. That's why it was. That's why you forgot about it. So the opening of your phone call is the most important part of the entire phone call. If you get that down, you're a light speed ahead of everybody else.